Test, radio check, in for GYY.
I got you, Frank. You're on the lift. And for GYY. Thanks, Frank. Got you, Jack. Good copy. 5858.
Yeah, I got the stream up now, Charlie, and I just told Brian we'll see if he's finding it. WA6LJS.
WA6LJS, W5ABI.
Yeah, W5ABI. Good signal. Good, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning, John. W5ABI, you got a good signal too. W5ABI, standing by for now.
Yeah, looks fine here. WA6LJS.
K4YDB, K1BOB. Looks very nice, Charlie. Well done. Roger. I'm going to use it as an SDR since I'm having trouble with 2. I don't know if is anybody here in K1BOB on SDR Utah 2?
Yes.
Okay, Jack, Jim, thank you. Great. I have no audio on it, so I guess I'll listen on Charlie's and my own. K1BOB, thanks, guys.
W2WLD.
Morning, Mr. Bill. Hey, we're going to do a little scenario for Rich, and I'm going to ask you as probably the last relay after I finish my words, and if you would just give a call out to K5LRS, Rich, last call, and then just report back to me with the appropriate nothing heard. If you'd do that, I'd appreciate it.
Will do.
K4YDB, WA6LJS. Yeah, Yeah, I just got a text from Brian and the family, and they have the stream up, and it looks good so far. Roger, roger. WA6LJ standing by for the Flyers net. Boy, ASH, you're 10 over. Roger, roger. Yeah, we've got good propagation today, thank goodness. K2SJ, please stand by for the air forces, Flyers, above that. 10 over, Bob, WA6LJS. Same here, John. Good, solid copy today. Glad to see the propagation's a little better today. K2SJ, please stand by.
K1BOB. We've got K0ZNC on Echolink. Dale or John, would you be able to auto patch John in?
Yeah, I can do it unless Dale wants to, Bob, over.
Yeah, would you go ahead and do it? And Dale's doing NetLogger, so very good, John. I'll rely on you to do that. I just put him on the top of the list also, Dale. K1BOB.
Roger, roger. I'll get him in there. WA6LJ standing by.
Good morning. This is Kilo 1, Bravo Oscar Bravo. I'll be your net control for today's Special Air Forces Flyers Club net. My name is Bob, call sign Kilo 1, Bravo Oscar Bravo. I'll be your net controller. I'm located 30 miles north of Boise in the Idaho Central Mountains. This net starts at 1500 Zulu during this time of year. And I got to turn down the AFFC. It's distracting. The Flyers Club net meets on 14-290, 7 days a week, every day of the year. We consist of military aviation members, both active and retired, from all the services air branches. We also very much like to welcome visitors to the net. And you don't need to be involved in the military or aviation to check in with us. Please visit our website at www.airforcesflyers.org. That's www.airforcesflyersclub.org. Find out about our wonderful people that are members. We've got a number of bios in there on folks. And find out more about our club and what we're about. Our net format is to go once down the initial check-in list, and I'll read that off in a second. We'll make a second call out for check-ins, if time permits, to go to a 73 round. Otherwise, we'll meet up on Echolink, and that's on the AFFC node break. Please try to limit your comments to 2 minutes. Keep in mind we need to be off half past the next hour. To check in with the net, please use the words as appropriate: contact, relay, info, or check-in. We're a national net in scope, utilizing relay stations across the country, and the number of SDR sites for listening purposes also are bound to pick you up. When you do check in, this is important. Please give your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, first name, and location. And let us know if you need to be just in and out or off early. With that, we're going to start the Air Force Flyers Club net. So far on the list, I have in this order, and it'll be pretty close to the net logger, which W5OG Dale's kind enough to run for us. So on the logger, we have myself, K1DOB. We have Don, K0ZNC. We have W6WAY, Jim in Corona, California. Got Bob in California, NX6RG. We also have John, WA6ALJF, and you know where he's at, California also. We've got Charlie, K4YDB, which is providing a streaming service on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube lookup site and put in K4YDB, you'll see his streaming audio and visual with some very nice pictures and a picture in remembrance of Rich. K5LRS is on there too this morning, and the Missing Man Formation. Very well done there, Charlie. We have Lee out in Texas, W4TUO. Got James also in Texas, KG5PTE. Got Dale, Texas, W5OG. Thank you, Dale, for running the logger. We've got John in Arizona, W7AJN. I've got Bob up in Longmont, Washington. Good morning, Bob. Got Frank. I think he's in Boise. However, he's transmitting through his home transmitter in Kentucky. Good morning, Frank. Frank's call sign is N4GYY. We've got Jack, another fellow controller, KM4CAX. We've got Joe out in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and he is W5ABI. We've got Bob, Florida, K2SJP. We've got Bill, Upper State New York, controller and club officer. That's W2WLD. We have Clifford, which I believe he should be mobile, and Clifford is W5PIX, Texas. We've got Brian in Texas, WB5DRI. And on the logger, I have, it looks like Chris in Bowling Green. Good morning, Chris. And Chris's call sign is KS5KY. KS5KY. With that, are there any other check-ins for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net? Please come now. Call sign slowly, name and location.
Kilo Echo 8, November Echo Delta, mobile, Mark in Michigan.
Okay, I have Art at Whiskey X-Ray 7 Lima Lima. Good morning to you, Art. I've got Mark in Michigan. Mark, please, you guys doubled for a little bit there. Would you please give your call sign again, please?
Roger. Kilo Echo 8, November Echo Delta.
Very good, Mark. Good signal. KE8NED. Kilo Echo 8, November Echo Delta in the mobile. And Mark, I'm going to get you up first when we start running down the list. Very good. Any other check-ins? K1BOB. Okay, John, would you give a call for all members from California, WA6LJS, K1BOB?
We'll call this WA6LJS relaying for net control for the Tuesday morning, or for the Monday morning Air Force Flyers net. We're looking for check-ins, either members or visitors. Call now. All's quiet out west, Bob. Back to net.
Roger, very good. Oh, nothing heard here, John, either. And let's go to W2, WLD. Phil, would you please give a call out for all members?
Wilco, this is W2, WLD, upstate New York. Relaying for net control for the Air Force's Flyers Club. We're taking check-ins, members or guests. Please call now. All quiet, Bob.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bill. And let me ask K2SJP, Bob in Florida. Would you give a call from Florida, please?
We'll call Bob. This is K2SJP relay for net control, calling any members or guests that would like to check into the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Please call now. Nothing heard, Bob. K2SJP, back to net control.
Okay, very good, Bob. Nothing heard here. Well done. With that, is there anybody that requires an early out? Anyone that needs to be in and out, early out? I do have Don, and I also have, I'm going to get Clifford in early, since he's probably mobile, and I'm also going to get Mark in early. Are there any others that require an early out? Please come now. Anybody that requires an early out, please come now. Very, very good. Excellent. This is K1BOB. That's the list as I have it this morning. I would like to do a little memorial dedication here to Rich and talk to you a little bit about him this morning. This is K1BOB, net control for the Flyers. Rich, Air Force Flyers Club member number 563, became a silent key this last Friday, June 9th. He lived in northwest Arkansas with his wife for 57 years, just outside of Fayetteville, adjacent to the beautiful Ozark National Forest. If you haven't been there, you need to put that in your bucket list. He retired from the U.S. Postal Service in 2014 after 28 years as a rural mail carrier. His wife's a retired LPN/CFT. That's a licensed practical nurse from a local hospital. He left 2 children, a son and a daughter. His son, Brian, is with us this morning, I believe. And Brian is an electrical engineer. And daughter, I believe, has a degree in architecture. Good morning, folks. He hunted, fished, rode motorcycle, played on the radio, as he said. He also was a licensed pilot. Rich was an Eagle Scout, and that means a lot to a lot of us, and a Scoutmaster for more than 25 years. So does that. To start his Air Force career, Rich joined the Air Force in 1960. He spent basic training at Lackland Air Force Base and did his technical training at Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi, where he received training as a ground control approach controller. And after technical school, he was assigned to Shepherd Air Force Base to the ground control approach unit there. In December of 1962, he was sent to Incirlik Air Base, Turkey, to work in the radar approach control, or RAPCON, as it's called. However, when he arrived, there was no RAPCON or radar. Thus, he was transferred to the tower, and he took that job up quick and got rated there. And then, like magic, as he said, a mobile RAPCON showed up, and he was transferred to it. When he was in Incirlik, it was still a black ops base for U-2s and EC-130s. Rich was honorably discharged in July 1964. Also, Rich had a job as an FAA air traffic controller. So he did a lot of stuff, and he was picked for some highly selective jobs, you might say. Not only being an air traffic controller, but going to some places where they pick the best. For more than 40 years, Rich was involved in ham radio. He hardly ever missed an AFFC net. I don't think he did. He was usually the first on the radio every morning. First on the SDR, and he was normally at the top of the list somewhere. He was dubbed with a call sign of our Air Force Flyers Club historian for his deep knowledge and his stories secondhand from his uncle of World War II. It's quite interesting, gentlemen. Anyway, sadly, Rich passed away on Friday the 9th this month, following surgery on his heart, which had complications that were unforeseen, unfortunately. We'll miss you, Rich. 73 from the Flyers, and in honor of Rich, I'm going to ask for any relays to give a last call to K5LRS, Rich, so we'll get all 3 corners of the United States here. John, would you start with a call to Rich, please? WA6LJS, K1BOB.
We'll call K5LRS. K5LRS, Rich. Nothing heard. Back to net.
Okay, thank you, John. It's K1BOB. Let me ask Dale, W5OG, would you give a last call to Rich, K5LRS?
I will do, Bob. This is Whiskey 5 Oscar Golf. Relaying for net control, K5LRS. K5LRS. Last call, Rich, W5OG. Nothing heard, Bob. Back to net.
Okay, thank you. W5OG. Let me go up to the other corner of the United States, up to Bill in upper state New York. W2WLD. Bill, would you please give a last call out for Rich, K5LRS?
Welcome. W2WLD upstate New York. Relaying for net control. K5LRS. K5LRS. Last call. Last call. K1BOB, W2WLD. Nothing heard.
W2WLD, K1BOB. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Well, no contact. K5LRS. Rich Naylor, silent key. May you rest in peace, and 73 to you, sir. From all the flyers, for all your years of active support, we appreciate you above and beyond the call of duty. 73, Rich. With that, we're going to get back to our opening list this morning. And at the top of the list, we'd like to bring in through auto patch, or a phone patch rather, K0ZNC. WA6LJS, would you please bring in Don?
Wilco, go ahead, Don. WA6LJS, back to Nick.
Okay, very good, John. Thank you, Don. This is K1BOB Net Controller. Next, let's go to Mark, who's mobile. Let's see, KE8, November Echo Delta. Mark, you're up for the Air Force Flyers Club Net. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and thanks for picking me up. This is Kilo Echo 8, November Echo Delta Mobile. I believe K1DOB is net control. I'm sorry, I have intermittent copy with a high noise level out here in Michigan. My condolences on the loss of an Air Force flyer. Always a sad moment. I was just dialing through the band late last week and picked up one of your nets and listened with interest, and I thought I'd introduce myself. I was Air Force 11 years, Gulf War veteran, and very pleased to find the Air Force Flyers. I'll be riding along with you. This is Kilo Echo 8, November Echo Delta, back to net control.
Okay, very good, Mark. And thank you very much for joining us today. You're coming in pretty good. A little noise on you, as expected in a mobile from Michigan. And 11 years in the Air Force, if you didn't catch Mark there. Excellent. Mark, what did you do in the Air Force, sir?
I was a medical officer, served primarily at Rangeland and Air Force Base in my time.
Okay, very good. In the hospital career field, at the primary facility in Texas. Very good. Been there a few times. Let's see, Mark, thank you. We'll hold you on the list to be able to get in later. Next, let me go to Clifford, Uncle Cliff, W5PIX. Good morning, Cliff. What you got for the net?
Well, thank you there, Bob, and I just managed to sneak into the shack right now. Just got back from the doctor's office there, and, well, certain things are looking good, and one thing looking a little questionable. But anyways, good thing on Rich there, K5LRS. We're definitely going to miss him. And some of the stories we was talking about the Metroplex there, and, of course, Carswell Air Force Base, which is now Carswell Joint Base Navy Base. So, anyways, gotta call it an early day because I gotta get on the phone with HEB, our pharmacy grocery store chain down here, and argue with them on some of the prescriptions they claim they filled. So anyways, I'll be short time, but thank you for calling me, and all the Flyers have a very good day, and yeah, we're definitely going to miss Mr. Historian Rich. Back to K1BOB, W5PIX.
Very good. W5PIX, K1BOB. Got all that, Clifford. Nice signal up into Idaho. With that, I'm going to go to the top of the list. If you haven't guessed already, I don't have a question for today by plan. So I want to talk more about Rich. Anyway, at the top of the list, I have W6WAY. That's Jim in Corona. First one I heard on the radio this morning with a radio tester. Sounding good, Jim. You're up, sir. Good morning.
Okay. Thank you, Bob. Let's see. It's overcast here. It's the same as it's been for a week or so. And the temperature is 57. It's only going to get up to 68 today. Your signal is about 20 over S9, Bob. And Cliff was about the same. He's very, very strong here today. Anyway, I did get an email from Rich one time when ammunition was really scarce, and he wanted to know that I never heard of a system of I'm trying to remember now exactly what it was, which is something where you rock fired and I think it had a laser involved with it. Anyway, I know we're going to miss him, and I appreciate the thing that you did today, Rob. Anyway, that's all I got here. So back over to the net from W6.
Oh, very good, Jim. You're a nice 5-9 up into Idaho. And thank you for the comments there. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the laser device there. You don't have to pay God the money for ammunition. I guess it's good practice. I don't have one. I've got real lasers, but not one of those. With that, let's go to our affectionately known as our Professor Bob. And that's November X-ray 6 Romeo Golf. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Bob, K1BOB. This is NX6RG. Good morning, Bob, and good morning to all the Flyers. It's nice that propagation is such that I can actually hear you locally this morning, Bob. That's a good thing. It doesn't happen all that often, so it was good, especially for this day. That was a very fitting tribute to Rich. I'm certainly going to miss his sense of humor that he always injected into our conversations in the morning, and also his incredible knowledge of history and aviation history in particular. He's going to be very much missed, I know, by all of us. Anyway, with that, we will be here till the bottom this morning. K1BOB, NX6RG.
Very good, Bob. Nice comments. Thank you. And let's move down the list, and let's go out to John, outskirts of San Diego, WA6LJS. Thank you for the help this morning, John.
Okay, real good, Bob. K1BOB, good morning, everybody. This is WA6LJS, where it's kind of 60 degrees, but very overcast again. I can't see the sun yet. It should come out later on this afternoon. And yeah, it's very hard to hear about Rich being gone. We're certainly going to miss him. I think I have a last question that he sent me that I might use tomorrow on the net when I'm net control, and we'll see if I can find that. Other than that, we've had very excellent propagation today. You're sitting right at 15 over the whole time, Bob, and so is Dale, and so is SJP, and even NX6RG, who is kind of hit and miss. We don't hear each other all the time, but today he's a good 5 to 10 over 9. So back to you, and I'll be here to the bottom. K1BOB, WA6LJS.
Okay, John. Very good signal over an S9 a bit. And thank you for your help in doing the phone patch this morning. Let's go to Charlie. K4YDB is currently running a streaming video, and if you want to see Charlie talk 2 seconds behind, if you're watching his lips, there's a little bit of a delay, but not much. It's as good as an SDR to listen to. So Charlie, I'll hand it over to you, and thank you for doing the nice memorial setup on your system there through YouTube. K4YDB. Good morning, sir.
K1BOB, K4YDB. Well, good morning, Bob. Morning to all the flyers and visitors out there. Bob, thanks for that opening there. I really did enjoy that. You said things I didn't know about Rich. But you know, I knew him for a long, long time, and I can always tell you that when I heard Rich, I knew conditions were going to be pretty good. But right now it's about 69 degrees here actually, and we're supposed to get into the low 80s today. Do have rain in the forecast pretty much all week. 1 o'clock this morning we had thunderstorms roll through here. My poor little dog, she was just shaking and hiding under one of the end tables, and couldn't get her out for nothing. So I finally got her out so she can go to bed and relax a little bit. Anyway, yeah, like I said, conditions are pretty good. Actually, I'm hearing everybody so far. I haven't had to use the SDR for anybody, which is kind of weird for me. I hope I got my issue squared away. I left one of my antennas disconnected and the end's kind of hanging out, so that might have been where I was getting the interference at. I hope, anyway. But Bob, there's not a lot else going on over here, so I'll turn it back to you. K1BOB, K4YDB. I'm back to net.
Audio's fine now, Charlie.
Okay, Charlie, you cleaned up the mic there, that's for sure. Sound much better now. Thank you again for doing the nice streaming audio of our net and video. With that, let's go to Lee in Bellevue, Texas, and that's W4PUO. Good morning, sir. You're up for the Flyers Club.
Good morning, Bob. K1BOB. This is W4PUO in Belleville, Texas. Well, it was a very nice tribute to Rich. He and I exchanged some comments back and forth on email about the YouTube program. He was very familiar with that. And I worked in the Pentagon with some guys that were right next to my desk, and they were working all that problem after the Iranian listening area was closed. Anyhow, very interesting history that he had for the Air Force and for a lot of the other things that we talked about. I'm sorry to see Rich go. He was a friend, and he will be missed. 73's to him and his family. I hope you all are comforted by the seriousness of his friends on ham radio. K1BOB, W4PUO.
Okay, Lee, thank you for the fine comments. And you, yeah, I forgot to say something. You kind of reminded me a little bit. Rich, as an air traffic controller in the Air Force, those guys aren't Neanderthals. They're very, very bright people, and they're under the gun, and they hold first and foremost the safety of flyers in the air. Even to the dismay sometimes of flyers in the air, but they do tell pilots what to do. Okay, thank you, Lee. Let's go to James in Texas, KG5PTE. KG5, Papa Tango X-ray. James, are you out there?
Good morning, Bob. K1BOB, KG5PTE. Thank you for doing the memorial for Rich, K5LRS. I am sure going to miss hearing him on Echolink and on the radio and his chuckle. I really enjoyed talking to Rich. In fact, I just saved the last email, took a screenshot of it, of the very last email that I sent to him in response that I got from him. Thank you for doing the memorial, and really appreciate all the flyers giving their condolences to the family, and I give my condolences to the family and prayers to the family as well. I have no words to say. Unfortunately, I have lost two friends by the name of Rich that are hams. In fact, almost within a few days, within a day of each other, I lost another friend of mine. His name was Rich Sherman here in Gatesville. He was K5PVT. He passed away this weekend. So that's another thing that's bothering me today is two silent keys in less than 24 hours. And then I lost a good friend of mine several weeks ago too from cancer. So it's all in the Lord's working. So anyway, nothing else, Bob. Thank you for running the net. K1BOB, KG5PT.
Okay, James, very good. Copied all that. I appreciate your comments, and I think when you get time up in the amateur radio ranks, you can devote full time to it. You're getting to be up in some ages. You're probably one of our younger folks out there, James. I sure appreciate you a lot and what you do. And waiting for you to get that Flex radio. Let's see. Well, let's go to W5OG. A big supporter, and our vice commander. There's a reason for that. And also, I think, was it you that came up with the call sign of historian for Rich? For those who don't know, you don't really get a say in your nickname if you're in a squadron, a flying squadron, or otherwise. The folks that work around you kind of dub you with a call sign or a name. Anyway, W5OG. Dale, good morning again. Thanks for the help with the net logger this morning. It's looking great.
Okay, Bob, yeah, no problem. W5OG here. Good morning again to all the folks. We will definitely miss Rich. It's certainly a loss for, that we all take personally. And I know that I speak for everyone when I echo again the fact that he was very much a part of our group. And also GW0UIM, Tony, who joins us on Echolink quite often. He wanted me to pass along to the group his condolences, of course, and he knew Rich well. Rich was ever present on Echolink as well, and had many occasions to chat with Tony there. Was my amplifier off? I just noticed. I apologize. I just noticed that the amplifier was off here. Surely it was on before. I don't know whether it was on when I did the last call for Rich or not, and I'm very embarrassed about that. But hopefully everybody heard me. I don't know. I think conditions are pretty good today. Probably didn't need the amplifier. But anyway, Tony wanted me to pass along his best regards to the family and to the rest of the flyers in the name of Rich there. We'll all miss him, including his many friends that in other aspects of amateur radio other than the Air Force's Flyers Club. Hey, thank you for doing the tribute there to Rich, Bob, and I'll be here to the bottom this morning as well. Back to net, K1BOB, W5OG. My signal come up some, Bob?
Yeah, it came up. Yeah, you were a little light on mine. I didn't want to say anything. Well, I didn't want to get on your radio because sometimes that'll mess you up, so to check if you had it on or not before I spoke. But yeah, you came up there, Dale. So very good, our flagship station, even on low power. Thank you, Dale. Appreciate that, and thank you again for doing that logger. Let's go out to John. That's W7AJN in the greater Phoenix area. Good morning, John. You're up for the Flyers, sir.
K1BOB, W7AJN. Thanks for the tribute, Bob. It was meaningful. This is Sarah. She's out in California, and we're fine with that there last night. She's out there looking at different things. Anyway, I remember Rick,
Okay, John, thank you for that. Nice word. And 92, you're having a cold spell up there. You better get your sweater or polar fleece there, John, in Arizona. Or it's already been over 100, I believe. So thank you, John, for that. Good words. And let's move up to Bob in Longview, Washington. W7ASH. W7ASH. I may not be able to hear Bob, so if somebody relay me when he's done. K1BOB, you're up, Bob. Now I got him.
Welcoming me to the call.
W7ASH, K1BOB, well, you're a great 5-5 here. Caught every bit of that, Bob. Appreciate that, and you reminded us how many emails Rich sent out. He sent me a couple last week, I think, on interesting historic facts with links on World War II. And I think John LJS has a question still. He's holding to use, and I think Dale does too. So Rich was good at helping out all controllers with questions. I think I did one of his one day also. And I thank the other guys for sending out stuff too. Speaking of another guy who sent me a question one time, and that's N4GYY, who's barely 30 miles away from me. However, I'm speaking out to his house, and it's getting relayed out to him through the internet. Let's go to Chief Frank, November 4, Golf, Yankee, Yankee. Good morning, Frank. You're up, sir.
Good morning, BLB and the group, N4GYY. Well, thanks for it, Don. I appreciate it. And my condolences goes out to Richard's family, my mom's prayers, our Ford family, and I will miss the emails that he had sent out in the past. They were, as other people have alluded to, quite interesting to read, and all that. But also, I want to make his interjections that he does on all the questions that come across this fine organization.
With that, since this is, I am transmitting from Louisville, Kentucky, but as Bob alluded to, I'm sitting about 30 miles away from him in Boise. Actually, I'm in an area called Eagle, which is to the northwest of Boise. And right now we have 64 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and chances of rain. I'm used to coming here in September when it's dry and hot. Being here in June is a whole new look to the way this area is, what I want to say. I'm not used to the rain in Boise, and we've been getting quite a bit of it. Outside of that, everything else is going good, so I'll be here to the bottom, and I will turn it back to the net control. K1BOB and the net, N4GYY.
N4GYY, Frank, very good there, and up in the hills here where you've been before, up here at our home, 7 degrees cooler just about every day throughout the year. 7 degrees cooler up here in the hills, which is very nice in the summer. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate your comment. Let's go to Jack, our Sunday Net controller, KM4 CAX. Morning, Jack.
Good morning, Bob. Georgia. We finally got some rain. About 2 inches yesterday afternoon and again tonight. So, thankful for that.
KM4CAX, K1BOB. Very good, Jeff. Yeah, I recall that, Rich. I think he told us the missus broken a leg, I think. I apologize for not making it down to the White River fishing trip and get-together for the Flyers. Well, heck, I don't blame him. That was the right thing to do. Take care of the wife. Good life. Anyway, thank you, Jack. And we're going to move on to Joe. That's W5ABI and City of Crosses, Las Cruces. You're up, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob, and the National Flyers, W5ABI. Good signal this morning. Thank you for the tribute to Rich. There was a lot of things there that I didn't know about that wasn't on his webpage. I didn't know him well. I do remember a lot of times when nobody could copy me over. Anyhow, we'll be here at the bottom. I got a contractor coming, so if you don't hear from me when you call me, you know, anyhow, beautiful day here in Las Vegas, up to 95. We got a good signal here. We're copying just about everybody. So back to you, Bob. K1BOB, W5ABI.
Okay, Joe, copied all that. 5-6 here. Good total copy, Joe. No problems whatsoever. And I'll just remind you here, it's 59 degrees. The high is going to be 72, maybe a little better. Anyway, with that, we'll leave Joe for now, but we'll hold you on the list. I think we're going to have a 73 round today, Joe. I'll give you a call out anyway, understand the factors. Let's go out to Florida. That's Mr. Bob, another Bob, K2SJP. Good morning, sir. You're up for the Flyers.
K1BOB, this is K2SJP. And good morning to you, Bob. Good morning to all the Flyers on the net today. We're up at 87 degrees right now, and it's hot and very humid out there because of the rain we've had the last couple of days. It's not raining now, sunny and bright, but I don't know if we got more rain coming, but the humidity is terrible. Temperature don't bother me, it's the humidity. Thank you for running the tribute to Rich. Bob, that was very appropriate. You did a great job on that. And if Rich's family is still listening, my personal condolences to you, and my prayers are with you. Rest in peace, Rich. We'll miss you here on that. So that's about it from this end. We're running 3 window air conditioners here in the house because we're waiting for a whole new system to come in, and they said it would be 1 to 2 weeks coming out of Nashville, Tennessee. So it's about a week now, maybe not quite a week yet, so we may have up to about another 10 days running window air conditioners here, which is just about making it. It's not quite as good as the normal air conditioning, but not getting the humidity out, that's what counts. Back to you, Bob. Again, thank you for running the net. We'll be here till the end. K1BOB, K2SJP.
Okay, Bob, very good. Nice signal as always, sir. Window air conditioners, what are those things? I remember something in way back there about those things. First thing I really liked, though, was a swamp cooler. Never been in a house that had one, but my sister did down in Las Cruces when we visited her, and we spent half the day just sitting under that thing when it was up over 100. Thank you, Bob. Let's see. Let's go to Bill, our net controller and executive officer up at Upper State, New York. Bill, good signal today about the normal 5657 W2WLD. You're up, sir.
Thank you, Bob. W2WLD. Well, up here, propagation is much much better today than it's been in months. And I wonder if Rich has found a way to help us with that. My condolences to Rich's family and his son Brian is listening. I would venture to say that there's probably not anyone listening on this net right now that doesn't know what it means to lose a dad. I lost mine 2 years ago. In addition to amateur radio and aviation, I found out that Rich has we shared a love of classic cars. And we had numerous personal communications and emails about classic cars. Rich was very fond of coming up with beautiful pictures of cars that we both wish we owned. He knew his cars. He also gave me numerous ideas for the question of the day, and I'll always appreciate that. Although I never met Rich in person, I consider him a friend, and I already miss him. K1BOB, W2WLD.
W2WLD, K1BOB, net control. Thank you very much, Bill, on that, and well said. All right, let me move down to Brian in Texas, San Antonio, WB5DRI. Good morning, Brian. You're up for the Flyers Club, sir.
Yeah, K1BOB. This is WB5DRI. Brian down here in San Antonio, Texas. Good morning, Bob, and good morning to all the Flyers and to the net. It's good to be on the net here this morning, and thank you very much for that tribute, Bob, to Rich. We'll miss him and his wit and his stories and his knowledge of all things airplanes and aviation and history. He was a very fine gentleman. He'll be missed by all of us. My condolences and thoughts and prayers to Rich's family. A salute to Rich, who's looking down on us on our net from heaven. 73's Rich, last call, K5LRS, WB5DRI, 73's. K1BOD, I'll be here to the bottom. Bob, thanks again for getting us all in there this morning. WB5DRI, back to net.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much for the kind words. And I remember Rich talking about his uncle, who's flown a number of different airplanes, and I think he was talking about the Air Cobra, which came up the other day, which had a mid-mounted engine behind the cockpit and had a high-speed drive shaft going right between the pilot's legs up to the propeller. Which was unknown at that time, and the eerie feeling you'd have with your legs on both sides of a high-speed drive shaft. It caught my attention. Anyway, the Air Cobra wasn't the greatest airplane in the world, but it was pretty exotic, that's for sure. And that was an interesting story Rich had relayed to us, along with many others. So let's acknowledge Chris in Bowling Green. Good morning, Chris. Chris is KS5KY, and he shows listening only. So good morning to you, Chris. Thank you for joining us today. With that, let's go to Art, WX7 Lima. Good morning, Art. You're up for the Flyers, sir. Okay, very good, Art. Got all that. Good signal from Arizona. With that, this is the bottom of the list. This is K1BOB, and I appreciate all the nice comments this morning. We do have time for a 73 round, so why not do that? So let's go with 73. Before we do that, let me ask, did I miss anybody on this morning's list? Have I missed anybody on this morning's list? Please come now. Okay, was that KE6FDDS? I don't recognize that as being on the list, but yeah, what's your name and location, sir? Did I get the call sign right?
Echo Delta, Cucamonga, California.
Oh, okay. Morning, Mike. K6FED. Yeah, we've spoke to you a few times. Rancho Cucamonga. I love saying that again. Anyway, yeah, why don't you go ahead and take one, Mike? We're going to go to 73 round in a minute.
Well, the name is Foxtrot Romeo Alpha Nancy Kilo. I don't have anything for the minute. Nothing else there is fine, and we'll just get on the
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for joining us this morning. Well, let me ask for, we're going to go to 73 round, then I'm going to ask for any other check-ins that weren't on the list this morning. So I'm going to go to the top. Don, K0ZNC, just gave us 73. He had to skedaddle on AFFC. Let's go to W6WAY. Jim, 73 round.
Okay, a great dance today. Thank you so much, Bob. Anyway, I don't have anything else. WA1.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Let's go up to East San Francisco, Pleasanton. NX6RG. Bob, 73 round.
Okay, Bob, K1BOB, this is NX6RG. Well, very good net this morning, Bob. Great propagation, I think. And to Brian, I hope you don't need your book back quickly. You know, at 900 pages in small font size, it's taken me a while to get through it. And Lynn and I are preparing to leave on Saturday. We'll be gone for 3 weeks to Europe, so it's probably going to be a little while before I get the book back to you. But it's very interesting, and I'm enjoying it a lot. K1BOB, NX6RG.
Okay, great signal holding up all morning there, Bob. I'm going to go to WA6LJS, and I think I'm hearing Don. I thought he said he wasn't going to be here for the 73 round, but I guess I got it wrong. WA6LJS, would you bring in Don, K0ZNC, and then take your turn, John?
Okay, we'll do that. Don, you're up. I'll simul you, WA6LJS. Okay, real good, Don. You coming through good here. And Bob, I just got a text from Rich's family, his son and family, and they said to relay to the net that that was a very special thing for them, and they really appreciate it there. 73s, and I'll be here to the bottom. Back to you, Bob. K1BOB, WA6LJS.
Very good, John. Well, thank you for all the help this morning in more ways than one. I appreciate the comments. I think everyone probably heard that from your station, but Rich's family thanked us for what all the Flyers had to say. For that, let's go to K2YDB, a big part in this whole thing. Excuse me, with the running display there on YouTube. Thank you very much, Charlie. K4 YDB. You're up, Charles. Okay, Charlie. Very good. Thanks again, and thank you for the reminder. I'll throw that out again. We are on AFFC, which is a node on Echolink. If you'd like to join us for a final, a tertiary round on the Flyers Club this morning after we shut down the HF, we're going to go to Echolink, AFFC, Air Force Flyers Club node. Let's go back out to W. Good morning, Lee, again. W4PUO. Any last comments? 73 rounds.
Thank you, Bob. K1BOB, W4PUO. Last comment is a very nice tribute, and I'm proud to be a member of it for Rich. 73's to Rich. K1BOB, W4PUO, 73, all Flyers.
Roger. Thank you, Lee. And a 73 also to Rich. Let's go to James, Texas, G5, Papa Tango, Echo. James, you're up. 73 rounds.
K1BOB, KG5PT. Once again, thanks for the tribute to Rich. Last call, K5LRS, KG5PT. Final call. Rest in peace, my friend. Back to net, KG5PT.
Okay, James, thanks for that. And the Almighty's been very good for us today. Such a propagation, and the Russians went away on their over the horizon, and I've hardly heard any tuner-uppers. So it was a good day. Thanks, Rich, for helping us with that. Let's go to Dale. Thanks for the help this morning, Dale. W5OG, take it away.
Bob, mighty fine. Yeah, very quiet day. In good condition, so it's a befitting day that we would honor Rich. And also I wanted to just mention that Tony is back on Echolink, so we're happy to have him, and those that can make it over to Echolink, please join us there afterwards. And also to Bob in X6RG, I remember you talking about your upcoming trip to Europe there. Bob, safe travels to you and your XYL there. Have a great vacation and a 3-week trip to Europe. Mighty fine. We'll miss you, but and we'll look forward to you coming back and telling us all about it. 7-3, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you on Echolink, those that can make it. W5OG back to net.
W5OG, K1BOB. Thank you, Dale. Thanks for all the help this morning. See you on Echo here in a little bit. Let's go to John, Arizona, W7AJN. John, 73 round to you.
K1BOB, W7AJN. Very soon. Very soon.
Okay, thank you, John, very much. Appreciate that. Let's move up to Bellevue. Not Bellevue. Longview, Washington. W7ASH. Bob, I've been hearing the last number of days with the short skip. Very good. You're up, Bob. 73 rounds.
K1BOB, W7ASH. Beautiful running by that time here, Bob. Very good propagation today. Thank you, Rich. And very nice, nicely done remembrance of Rich there. And very nice net today. Nice participation. I was able to hear most everybody, not everybody, but most everybody locally. But I got everybody
with the SDR. So it was a pretty nice day on the net. So I will say 73s to everybody, and I will try to be back tomorrow morning. K1BOB, W7, ASA 73s.
Okay, Bob, 5.6, totally copyable, and thanks for that. And Bob reminds us a lot of us do run a receive SDR, such as Utah number 2 as one. If you go to if you Google Utah SDR, Utah Northern SDR, you'll find their site, and with a little playing around, you'll figure out how to use it. And they come in quite handy. I think most of the controllers have an SDR site up. Don't always need them, but it's nice when you do. And people can hear you on that too, so like you've got an automatic relay going all the time. Let's go back out to Frank, N4GYY. You're up for the 73, Chief.
BOB in the net, N4GYY remote. Today I was hearing about a 50-50 as far as local people locally on the radio and using the SDR. Again, I am remote. I am in Boise, Idaho, but my radio's back in Louisville, Kentucky. Very nice tribute to Rich on this, Bob. Really, job well done. Very well done. Like I said, I hope Rich's family that was listening on the YouTube channel really appreciated everything that went on. Bob, I am trying to find some time to get in touch with you to get together like we did back in September. But again, I'm working on my daughter's bathroom remodel, and I think next week we're going to have a lull in that because she's getting the tub reglazed and we can't touch anything for 3 days. So that might be when I get a chance to get with you. I will drop you a line and we can talk about it. With that, 73s to everybody on the net. K1BOB and the group, N4GYY remote, 73.
Okay, well, thank you, Frank, N4GYY, and your daughter's more important. I understand that. I've done that myself, not as much these days, but helping out the daughter and son with certain projects they didn't want to take on, and I'm glad I did. Anyway, Frank, we'll catch you next time. If you can make it, you can make it. If not, maybe we can get together with you somewhere. Don't know. Lynn's gone now, and she gets back tomorrow, so I got to go down your way tomorrow and bring her back home. Let's see, 73, Frank. Let's go to KM4CAX. Jack, 73 rounds, sir.
Okay, KM4CAX.
Okay, Jack, very good. Got a tuner upper, but I heard all that just fine. Appreciate your comments, Jack. This is K1BOB. Let me give Joe a try out in Las Cruces, New Mexico. He's got a contractor coming in, but what the heck. W5ABI. Joe, are you there? 73 round.
K1BOB, W5API. I'm here, typical this part of the country. It's Mignonaville. Anyhow, I haven't seen him yet, but thanks for running that, and thanks again for that tribute. Really nice. soon. You take care. 73 is all the Flyers. We'll be on tomorrow with WA6LJS. K1BOB, W5ABI. 73, Bob.
73 to you, Joe. And yeah, there's a reason Mexico is known for their siestas. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So, same thing in Spain. They'll do the same thing. And they'll come out at night and stay up till long hours with their kids in the streets partying. Anyway, thank you, Joe. 73. Let's go to K2SJP. Bob, with those window air conditioners. Bob, go ahead. 73 round, sir.
K1BOV, this is K2SJP. Okay, Bob, again, thank you for the tribute for Rich. Last call, K5RS. This is K2SJP. 73, Rich. Back to that.
Okay, very good, Bob. And 73 to you. Let's go to Wild Bill, W2WLD, Upper State there. Thanks for the comments, Bill, and thanks for the relay. Appreciate you doing that. Over to you, Bill, 73.
Okay, Bob, I have nothing more. Thank you, Bob, for organizing the tribute to Rich. 73 Rich, 73 all. K1BOB, W2WLD.
Very good. Nice 5-7 all morning, Bill. And not even aimed at you. Thank you. This is K1BOB Net Control Air Force Flyers with the last few on the list today. And let's go to W5PIX, Clifford, somewhere in Texas. W5PIX, Cliff, copy, 73 round.
W5PIX, you're up, Cliff.
I think he mentioned he had to get on with some stuff, although I didn't hear 73. I got the gist. So let's go to Brian, WB5DRI. Thanks for the good words and thoughts, Brian. You're up for the 73.
Yeah, K1BOB, WB5DRI. Well, thanks again, Bob, for this fine net this morning. 73s, and God bless all the Flyers. And to Bob, NX6RG, take your time on that book, Bob. It took me a while to read it with its 900 pages. I'm not in any hurry for it. And have a great trip to Europe there, Bob. 73s to all the Flyers. WB5DRI, back to net. Good day, everybody.
Okay, Brian, a great day to you. 900 pages. Man, I'm reading the George Bush right now. I think he's about 400 or 500 pages, and it's hard to put a dent in it. I can't imagine. That sounds like additions on additions there. Very good. Let's see. Where was I? KSKY, Chris, thanks for receiving us today. If you're still out there, and it's 73 to you, sir. Let's go back to Art. WX7, Lima, Art, 73 round.
Stopped off to see the wheel from the airport. Jim, KD8MA. But I want to say
Okay, very good. WX7, Lima, good copy on you here today. Thanks for joining us, Art. Let me try Mark one more time. He was in a mobile. And let's try KE8NEB. Mark, if you're still there. 73 round for the Flyers. Okay, nothing heard. I think he had to go anyway. And K6FED, Frank, you're up for the Flyers, 73 round. Okay, Kilo November 4, Papa Papa Tango Tango, stand by. Did I miss anybody on the net that had logged into the net this morning? Yeah, I'll take check-ins just a second. Did I miss anybody on this morning's net that was on the list? Okay, nothing heard. This is K1BOB. We've got a few minutes remaining. I copied a Kilo November 4 Papa Tango Tango, standby, and there was another check-in. Would you go ahead, sir?
Kilo November 6, Tango X-ray radio, Ojai Valley, California. My name is Sean.
Okay, very good, Sean. Got a good copy on you. KN6PXR, California, standby 1. KN4 Papa Tango Tango. Could you come back with your name and location? Okay, got a light copy on you. I think you said Ronnie. Go ahead. Any comments for the Flyers before we close down the net? Go ahead, sir. Okay, Ronnie, very good. Catch you there. We're the Air Force Flyers Club net. We start at 1500 Zulu. 1500 Zulu on this frequency every day of the year. Please come join us. And let me go to Sean in California. Kilo November 6, Tango X-ray Romeo. Go ahead, Sean. Anything for the Flyers Club net? Okay, Sean, yeah, you're doing well. You're a 5'7", up to a 5'9" there, and I am located north of Boise, Idaho, and I'm certainly aimed away from you, probably getting you on the side of a hex beam. Anyway, this is the Air Force Flyers Club net you landed on. Just finishing up our net today. Do you have any comments? And a great signal here. You're doing well with your setup there. 100 watts probably. Over to you. Okay, Sean. Well, thank you for joining us. Yeah, certainly a great hobby. Many of us have been doing it for many, many years. And glad to have your acquaintance there. And we meet if you'd like to jump in. We welcome visitors, or if you maybe qualify to be a member. It doesn't matter. We've got lots of folks who just check in every day. So pleasure meeting you. You're doing well with your wire antenna there on 100 watts. So I'll give you a 73, Sean. Thank you. This is K1BOB, starting with KN6TXR. Last check. Any other last check-ins for the Flyers before I shut down? Relay KB7LAK. Okay, nobody that I can hear. Thanks for everybody for joining us today.
Stand by, Justin.
I'm going over to Echo Link for a final round on Echo Link. So thanks, everybody. I'm relinquishing the frequency. This is K1BOB, and we've done the Flyers Club net. Anyway, 73 on.
Relay, Bob. I think Justin is in there.
I'll pick them up. I heard something way down there, but not good enough. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin. KB7LAK WA6LJS relay.
Okay, fine business. Reporting back my 73s, everyone. And great tribute to K5LRS Rich, fellow motorcyclist and ham radio operator and small plane flyer. So great tribute. And just remember, you guys, there's a TUI.
Did you get that, Bob?
No, I can't hear them all today.
Yeah, he's coming in good here. He said 73s appreciated the tribute to Rich, and he said we all should remember those guys are just TDY. We'll all see them in the end. Back to you.
Okay, very good. Thanks, John. Thanks, Justin, if you can hear me, probably on an SDR. K1BOB shutting down the Air Force Flyers for relinquishing the frequency. Thank you, John.